Okay, so I've been low key neglecting this channel, and I apologize. But I have good reasons. I was sick for the past week, and exams, first round of exams are next week, so not for completely no reason, but I wanted to hop on, do something simple, so I don't forget about this channel completely. And I thought it's probably around time I might just share what how I use NeoVim and how I configured it. And so that's what this video will be, my NeoVim config. It's very much a work in progress. I use kickstart.neovim, which I can show here. So kickstart.neovim and then keb. So this is my repo. There's also the kickstart itself. NeoVim. Should probably prepare it a little bit more for this, but it is what it is. So this is Kickstart. This is made by a bunch of people. I think it was started by TJ DeVry, and he made Telescope, I think. And you download the dependencies and you load up NeoVim and boom. I mean, you download the config and then you put it in .config-neovim and then boom, you got a simple little NeoVim config that you can start configuring. Before this, I use nvchad. I didn't really care too much about customizing my NeoVim. I just wanted something that works and has all the features that NeoVim provides, like Vim motions, but also the cool little plugins like Leap and Telescope and stuff like that. So this is what I used first. It looked great actually, and then I moved on to LazyVim. Reason for switching, not really any reason. I just switched because I really only chose these because I like the names. Like nvchat is like kind of a meme, and then LazyVim is just heard a lot of good things about it, so I switched over. And they're both cool. They're both good for getting started. If you don't want to configure nothing, just get something started. I feel like this is the best way. I feel like um, it's good not to get too caught up on customizing your config, but I'm a hypocrite, and I did end up falling in a small loophole, and that is this config. So my config starts off with mini starter. This is from no mini.nvim. This is from Ichesnovsky, and his shit is great. I love this guy's plugin. He has his kind of his own little thing similar to these, but it's just a plugin library that all interact with each other. It's kind of ugly, so I don't I don't use everything in here, but I like a lot of the stuff he puts out. I think actually it's not really ugly. It's just how he configured it here. But yeah, he has a lot of great things that I use a lot of his stuff. Mini animate is great if you aren't used to Vim motions and you want to get used to them. Mini animate is great. They also have mini AI. I think mini completion, mini colors is great. Mini icons. It just has a great set of plugins that you can play with, and they all work together. But they all also work with your other plugins. So if you don't want to get trapped into his own little thing and you want to mix and match, it's perfect, right? So outside of that, this is my config. It is a Luffy ASCII, and I just set it up to where there are 3 recent files because I don't really care too much to use this. Actually, I really only Telescope, and yeah, so that is the start. It's pretty cool. My kickstart is a little bit different. I used a fork of the kickstart repo where it's more modularized. It splits up into, because it organizes it a little bit more differently. So in the Lua file, under custom, we have a plugins folder where all my custom plugins, and under the kickstart folder with under plugins, it will have all the little kickstart plugins that you can configure and add to if you want. And then Here is the keymaps file where it keeps all the keymaps. This is the bootstrap. I don't really know what that is. This is the plugins file, which loads all of these folders. So it just keeps it very clean because you don't want to have all this code and it's all in one file because it's hard to like go around and figure out where things are. And then options, which holds all your options. Yeah. And then your init file, which starts, my leader key is mapped to space. So if I go ahead and press space, the which key plugin shows up. My face is covering it. The which key plugin shows up and it shows all the different keys. So once you're getting used to your key map, this plugin is great because if you want to know, how do I toggle a breakpoint? Oh, it's leader B. How do I harpoon a file is leader H, right? And so that's how I start. Probably good to cover this file tree. So there's a lot of different ways to manage files in NeoVim. My preferred way was mini.files. I also have a little classic tree here. I forget what this is called. I never use this. I just have it in my plugin just in case. Just when I was figuring out mini.files, if I didn't like it, I had this to fall back on, but I never really used it. So it's just there. I should get rid of it. But yeah, this is pretty much, I believe, is like oil.neovim. That's another very popular one that I haven't tried yet. I probably should try it, but pretty much my way to open it is leader E. So leader explore. That's how I remember it, leader E. And then that's where I can get in here. You can use your Vim motion, so JK, to go up and down. It has a preview on the right, which is great. And then you can go deeper into directories by going right or left with Vim motion. So it's going to be H and L. So H goes out one, and then H again, and go back, so whatever. You can also do, I believe it's question mark. Nope. G question mark. Yeah, G question mark shows all the little mappings for mini files. Q to close it, Q to close this, right? If you want to mess around with files, let's say I want to create a directory, I can do like new directory there, or I want to rename this to GTI ignore. I can do that with Vim motions. The only thing is, if you make a change, you gotta, the border turns into another color. That means you gotta do equal sign. I'm sorry, you gotta, how do you do? You do equal sign, and then you confirm what you want to do, and then that will save it, right? So even though you change it, it's not saved yet. You gotta press equal signs, and it'll save. I probably would have liked if it was like Control W or whatever, just keep it in line with Vim motions, but what do I know? That guy's probably has a better design reason for it, and I just stuck with it. And yeah, then to open a file, you go to your file, and then you go right, so L, and then boom, you're in there, right? Yeah, so that's one way I use for file traversal, the little file tree. That's the classic way. Another way is just buffers. So in Telescope, I have everything bound for my Telescope plugins as leader S. This is default with Kickstart, I believe. So if I go to key, is it here? Whatever. Oh yeah, what I just did there was leader /. So it's space and then /. And what this does, hopefully y'all can see that. Oh fuck. And what this does is it searches within the file you're looking at. So in the keymaps.lua file, I can open that up. It's the current buffer fuzzy finder, and then I can write what I did earlier, telescope, right? And then there. So this is some telescope thing, I think. Nope, it's not. Whatever. And then yeah. So leader Q does something. Yeah. So that's another way telescoping. I have it bound to leader S for most of it. So space S will give me this, and then if I press D, it shows the diagnostics. If I press F, it shows the files. If I do G, it greps, right? And so, and then H is help files. There's a bunch of telescoping thing, but to get telescope, leader S. That's how I remember it. Leader search. So search for my file is leader S. File is F. So leader S F. And then I can look through this directory. If I want to go to like a Markdown, plugins, I'm there. All right. Grepping is looking for within a file. I mean, looking for the text within a file. So if I want to go grep, and I'm saying, oh, let me move my head. If I want to, if I want to look for a file like obsidian, it looks through all the files and looks for that word inside of there, right? And then pretty cool. Leader D is diagnostics. So if you want to look through your diagnostics, if you got like an error here, right? Leader SD is right there, right? So it's very easy to debug. Another way I use to debug. Let's finish up the traversal. So another navigation thing I do is Harpoon. I love Harpoon. So when I'm working on a project and I know that I am only going to be switching between these 3 files, I use Harpoon a lot, and I love Harpoon. Let's say I want to harpoon this. It's a plugin made by Primogen. Let's cover what it does. This is Harpoon. It's leader H for Harpoon. It opens up this window if it's lowercase h, and pretty much this will hold all your files, right? And the cool part about this is you can do leader capital H, and now I have Harpoon this init file. So if I go into that file, init is right there. Let's say I go into another file, the style Lua, leader capital H, and now I have Harpoon two files. One is the init and 2 is the style Lua. And now the placing is important. You can switch it around with Vim motions, right? You just got to make sure that you save. But pretty much what this allows you to do, if you press space and then 1, you're at the file at 1. If you do space and 2, you're at that one. So if you have 2 files that you reference a lot, this is an easy way to just swap between them without going to the file tree, looking around or whatever, or you go into your telescope and then type the name out. Like, it's still fast, but this is faster. And yeah, so that's what I use. Those are the 3 main things within a file itself. How I traverse, let's say I'm inside a let's find a longer one, keymaps. Let's say I'm inside this file, right? I traverse with, I should do keymap, screen keymap. There it is. Why is it like that? Whatever. It should be on the top right. I don't know why it's in the middle, but I usually traverse with the brackets. So the brackets allow you to swap between paragraphs of text. So this whole chunk of text, you're skipping it with the curly brackets. This one, you're skipping that, and so forth. Another way is Control D and Control U. That's just like D for down, U for up. So down, you hop big text. I don't really know how it works, but you hop big text. And pretty much what I do is I get to where I think I should be around, right? So, and then I use something called leap.neovim, and leap allows me to keep my eye on something and then be there, right? So let's say I want to go to this open diagnostics file, but my cursor is down here. I can go Control S because it's before my cursor, and then do OP, and then there's a letter here, right? And that's fine because I'm already looking here because I want to be here. So I just press that letter, boom, I'm there. My cursor's right here. I can edit how I want. Same thing is for if I want to go somewhere forward in my window here. So say I want to go to right, I can do lowercase s, so S for search, right? But we don't use a leader key, it's just S. And then S, and then I can write, I want to go into Windows, so it's going to be IN, and then boom, I'm here. I can delete it if I want. I can do whatever I want. And so it's great for like where you look is where you can be, which is why I really like Leap. The only downside is like you can only go where you can see. And if I want to go somewhere at the very top here, I can't really know where it is. So that's why I do a combination of DU, go into, like if I have a really big file, if I have a really big file, right, I zeroed it in to where I know that this is where I'm about to be. So like I find a function I want, I can do this by just DU, the curly brackets, or just searching in the buffer fuzzy, and then I use S, and then I've used the Leap plugin to go wherever I want. Right, so that is let's quit without saving, and that is my navigation pretty much. What else do I do? I use Tmux when I use NeoVim. So let's start a Tmux section. And so, oops, cool, I gotta update. And so this is my Tmux. I on the bottom, is Tmux, and then this is my first window. If I want to make another one, my leader key for Tmux is Control S. So if I do Control S, that highlights, it tells me I did a leader key, and then I can type one of the hotkeys to make a new tab is C, right? So now I have two tabs right here. Hop between them, I do Control S, and I really only usually do two. You can also make a window, which is also helpful, and then move between them if you need. And the benefit of this is I can have a nvim pane in one side and mess with the terminal here. I usually prefer to do it between buffers. So I mess with a file, I debug, do it here, and then I run the code, see what happens, and then I just repeat, right? If I need to ever reference something, that's when I do the two files. If I just need to reference code, you can do that within nvim itself. You just open another buffer, and for me, it's leader W for Windows, so leader W. And then here I have H for horizontal split and V for vertical split. I also have Q for quitting and W for writing. Yeah, so if I go into nvim and press Q by accident, and I do leader W V, that's a vertical split, right? Because I'm zoomed in, it looks a little weird. Let's try again. There it is. I don't know why it looks weird, but whatever. And yeah, you can also mess around with Kitty and then have a tiling manager switch between. That's very popular as well. But tiling managers on Mac aren't as, I found not as reliable. And so I stick to using it within Tmux because that hasn't given me any problems. My tiling manager is Aerospace, by the way. I'm still configuring it, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. And then, so yeah, that is the other one. And then Tmux is great because it also sessionizes your things, right? So here I can have a config file and I can just rename it Tmux rename session config, right? And then if I want to detach, and I can go to, let's say, my documents, and then I want to go to my Obsidian and Vault, I do another Tmux session here, and then I can rename that session. Tmux rename session, and then notes. And so in here, if I do, to get to that page to see all my sessions, is leader S and then S again. Leader SS, I have notes and then config. So if I want to configure my nvim, I'm here. If I configure my notes, I'm here. And then since we were already at the notes, I can talk about Obsidian. So Obsidian is a part of my Markdown. I think I made a video about it previously, but to cover it quickly, my Markdown files are here. I have an Obsidian file that lists out a directory. I have since changed it a little bit, actually, where it only does, I got rid of these two because I don't really use it, and it just allows me to do a empty to-do list, a check to-do list, and an in progress to-do list. Here I configured it a little bit more. This is the rendered markdown.nvim file, and this allows me to just customize how a markdown looks in nvim. And then Markdown Previewer is just a previewer. And so how that looks in my Obsidian, if I go into my Obsidian Vault, and Obsidian Vaults look like this. So here is my projects, notes, contact, Scala draw, whatever, right? I usually am in my to-do list. I don't know why it's like that. And then here is my to-do list. It looks a little bit different from my previous video because I customized it a little bit. But pretty much it makes headers look like that. It splits it halfway. I might change that in the future. My to-do list look like this. Oops. I don't know why it's going like that. I need to figure out Tmux. Tmux has, sometimes my sessions close without me wanting it to. And then I have to make a new session, and then the swap file is lost somewhere in the system, and it gives me that error. Very annoying, but I'll figure it out. Yeah. Edit anyways. And then here is the to-do list, right? I can check it. I can make it in progress. It has its own little icons. Or I can uncheck it all with the leader key. And I can turn on screen key. There it is. So that one's, right? So it's just enter to change all of this stuff. Right? Yeah. I'm not going to go into what Obsidian does too much, but it's pretty much just you make connections and boom, it's there. Markdown preview, just type it out. I didn't make a key map for it because I don't use it too much, but Markdown preview, boom, we got a previewer. Very cool. Yeah. See the window manager is slow on my system, which is kind of annoying, but Is what it is. Let's go back to my config. Let's see what I'm missing. So in my custom code snap, so code snap is cool. I think you just highlight something and do code snap, right? Oops. Wait, I haven't used this in a while. Well, it said it's saved. Let's see. Oops. Oh, there it is. Code snap, paste it in, it saves into the clipboard, and then boom. It also saves into your screenshots if you want it like that. But yeah, code snap, very cool. If you want to share code, that's a good way to do it. Code snap. There's a similar plugin in nvim that does that. So that's that. Dadbod is a, what the fuck is Dadbod? Dadbod is Tpope's. So apparently Tpope is a very popular plugin creator. He made Vim Fugitive and Dadbod. Dadbod is to mess with databases. I'm still learning it, so I'm not gonna cover it. But when I do more database work, hopefully this is helpful. Fugitive is Vim Fugitive, no customizations, and pretty much Vim Fugitive is pretty cool. If you do, so this is the command line. You do it by pressing colon, and this is how you interact with different commands. If you do command line G, you're in Vim Fugitive. I need to customize it to where when I do that, it opens in a new tab. Haven't gotten around to it. I should probably put it in the README. Did I already put it? Oh, I did. I've just been ignoring it. Let's put it up here so I don't forget, because it's pretty popular. So I need to add key bindings to Vim Fugitive. Let's go back to Fugitive. I need to add key bindings to it so I don't have to do :G all the time. But this is cool because it shows your untracked file, your unstaged file. So these are where all the changes are, right? And pretty much I can press A to add them to staging, and I can double press C to commit them, add a commit message for my video, right? And then Command X will close it, and now it's committed, and we can just do capital P, push it to master, and then it's pushed. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. And then another thing is get signs. Might as well cover that as well. Get signs is what this color is here, right? So if I add something new that isn't tracked, it gives a green line, meaning that I added something. If I modify a line, it does a yellow line, meaning that something was changed. If I delete it completely, whatever. If I delete it, it will do a red dash or whatever. Get rid of all this. Look ugly. Yeah. So that's get signs. Get signs is very helpful. It looks also very nice. Harpoon covered it. It's just pretty much the base stuff. Yeah. Highlight colors. Makes colors. Init.lua. This was pretty much empty, but I was experimenting with a CSV plugin that I don't need right now. Oh yeah, here's the dash, meaning that I deleted something. So yeah. And then leap is where I showed earlier. If I press S and then type in the 2 letters where my eyes are, and then I can be there, right? Leak code is pretty cool, but I haven't configured it. Leak code, if you type leak code here, I believe delete. Whatever. If you type in leak code, you type in some command, it pops up another whole session, and you can do you have to connect your cookies to it from your leak code account, so it tracks all your progress. But once you get that done, you can do leak code within your terminal with all your plugins, with your LSP highlighting and all that. So it's pretty fucking cool. I don't really use it all like that too much, but when I was, it was very cool. Lua line. So Lua line is this line right here. Right here. It shows all the information. On the bottom right here is like the column and row you were on. So if I move around, you can see that it updates. it updates. It also changes color if I'm in different Vim modes. So if I'm in insert mode, it turns green. If I'm in highlight mode, it turns purple. It also shows the branch I'm in, the file I'm in, if I need to save the file. And this macro recording here, I stole from Reddit somewhere. I don't remember where. It also adds down here. Someone smarter than I was able to, if I want to record a macro, and to do that, you press Q and then some letter. It tells me I'm recording a macro at letter K. I can press Q again, it stops recording, and then I can use that macro if I want to. Pretty cool. And yeah, I think the only customization I did here was just add the lines and then get rid of some of the things I didn't use. Yeah, and here it has like Lua. I don't know why there's a Linux thing here. Whatever. Markdown. I already covered that. Marks. So marks are cool. I was experimenting. I need to use it more than I do. Pretty much the way marks works, if you press M, they're default in Vim. If you press M and then some letter, it puts a mark there, right? So at mark A, so if I'm down here and I want to go to mark where I marked, I can press, oh wait, what do I press? I think it's this button, or one of these. Let me test it. Yeah. So it's this button right here. The single colon will jump me to A. So single colon A will bring me to that mark. You can also see it right here. That's where the mark is. Single colon A is also actually really cool. So if I'm here and then I'm here and I'm here, let's say I mark here as B. Let's say I want to go to A. So single colon, go to A. But then you could also double tap single colon to go back to where you previously were. So if you're referencing between two spots a lot, you can just use the single colon, single apostrophe, sorry, or single quotation. Single quotation. And then you can hop between them, right? And then you can also hop between the marks. The only bad thing is you gotta do delm to delete the marks. So I gotta figure that out. But pretty much this plugin marks.nvim just shows you where the marks is. So it's what allows me to like be like, there's a mark here, there's an A right here. That's what this plugin does. Pretty cool. Let's delete that. And then capital marks. So if I'm in this file and I do mark capital A and I go to another file, I can reference the capital ones from a different file. So that's pretty helpful as well. Yeah, so marks, I gotta use it more. I don't use that as much. Multi-cursor, I saw on Reddit. Don't know how to use it. Was cool. Probably won't figure out how to use it because I never use a multi-cursor. But if I'm like cracked, bro, I'll get really good at this. Noise. A Folky plugin. Folky is the guy who made LazyVim. Makes a lot of cool stuff for NeoVim. Noise, I think, is just what makes this look so pretty. Yeah. I used to also have his Notify plugin. I forget what it was called, but it had notifications on his top right here. But it kept covering the page too much, so I got rid of it. So I need to figure out another solution for notifications. But Folky, pretty cool. Tmux Navigator. So in the Tmux pane I showed earlier, this allows me to hold control, move between them like it was a window, like it was a Vim buffer. So right here, this is a pane in NeoVim, and this on the right is a pane in Tmux. And I can go through between all of them just using control. I don't have to press any other leader keys or nothing, right? So that's pretty useful. And then very cool. You also need to set it up in your Tmux config, but I don't remember how I did that. Screen key is this thing. I think I only changed it to put it up here because I think by default is where my head is. Surround's very cool. I really like surround. This is pretty much a quick thing. It comes default with kickstart, I believe. But pretty much if I want to surround this word, I do YS inner word. I do YS and then some Vim thing. So inner word, it covers it. Do the thing I want to cover it. Now it has quotations. Seems like a lot of buttons, but once you get used to it, it really isn't all that bad. YS inner word and then boom, right? You can also do delete surrounding. So delete surrounding single quotations is gone. Delete surrounding here. You also do you change surrounding CS, and now it's K. You know, very cool stuff. I use this a lot actually. It's very useful to get used to this, because it works with like your Vim motion. So if you do YS and then you want to select to the end of the thing, you do the $, and then oops, I did it wrong. And then boom, cool, right? All right, next one, undo tree. I gotta add a key binding to this. To do add key binding. Oh yeah, this is another Folky plugin where it does like these little notes. You can also do like fix. It does a different color. You can do bug. It does the same color probably. Debug, is that one? No, it's not. Notes. Oh, it's notes. Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. And then you can telescope this too. Let me figure out how to do that. I haven't done this in a while. Nope. Fuck. No. Whatever. You can telescope and search through your to-do list. I forgot how I used to do that. I don't really do this too much anymore because I keep a separate to-do list like in my Obsidian here. So I reference this if I know I need to do something. But I got to get back into it because I actually use it a lot. Undo tree. Do undo tree. Toggle. Boom. And then you can do like, you can select like your history, you know, pretty cool shit. I need to use it more often. I don't use it as much as I should because it's very useful. Vim be good. That's a little video game. That's a little game the Primogen made. I don't really play it too much. No, I'll keep it. Xcode. I haven't configured this yet, but I'm learning Swift. Xcode is really cool. Want to use it in my NeoVim. Apparently this is a really good plugin. Gonna try it. I also need to try out a cursor.lua plugin, some AI stuff, because seems helpful. But yeah. So that's it for my custom plugins. Kickstart has auto pairs. What the fuck does this do? I think this like automatic. No. Maybe this highlight some shit. Let's figure it out together. Auto pairs.nvim. Multiple characters. Honestly, I have no idea. Whatever. Come on. There it is. CMP, auto completion is very helpful. Type something. Whatever. It's auto completion. It comes default. Color scheme, I use Capuchin. I used to use Tokyo Night. Yeah. Conform. What I'm trying to figure out right now, like, the background of my Vim is the same background as my Tmux, but this Lua line is some dark fucking color, and it's very annoying. I'm trying to get rid of that, but I haven't spent too much time on it, so. And I don't feel like it, because it's pretty dumb. Conform.neovim. Conform is pretty cool. If something's out of, like, whatever, well, it has to be, let's do this, right? If it's like that, you can do control leader F and then formats it. It's like auto format pretty much. You can also format on write, I think. Format on save. Debug. It's the DAP stuff. So to debug, I use all my function keys. And then I don't have a DAP for Lua. Let's find one. That was a nasty sound. I'm sorry. Fuck. What the fuck? Oh wait, I'm already in documents. Oh my god. All right, let's go into assignment 1. What the fuck? What was that? Well, this is falling apart. Okay, here. If I do dap, I have dap configured for Python. Now I do my function key. Boom, we here. And then I can, it doesn't work right now, but you set breakpoints, right? And then you run through it. And then you run through it like how you would a normal debugger. It's very helpful, especially for like nvim type shit. Let's run through the rest of this. Get signs. It's the little line thing I was talking about earlier. Indent line. Oh, it's these little lines here. Very helpful. Lint is your linter. LSP is your LSP. I haven't configured it. I don't plan to. I just use Mason if I need anything. I should learn how to learn how to configure it, but I've been lazy. Oh, I need to update. Very cool. I should update here too. Super cool. Mini Lua. So this is where I keep all my mini files. This is my ASCII art if you want it. This is the footer, kebvim. Mini files. Here's mini files, mini notify. I tried using mini notify, but I don't think it works. Whatever. There's start a dashboard where I set my header and footer art, and then highlight patterns and icons. Use a lot. He does great stuff. Neotree is that thing. You know. Telescope is very helpful. I gotta use it more often. Let me figure out how to do the to-do list. Whatever. To do. It's the little comments I was showing earlier, like to do. You know. Tree sitter. Highlights and stuff. They're very helpful. Which key? Leader. It's this thing. This whole bar. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a lot, I feel like, but when you slowly just add stuff, it doesn't feel like too much, which is probably a benefit of creating your own config. I think big downside of using a distro is like it's already preset ways of doing things that you have to adhere to instead of creating your own that works with how you think. And so that's how I set mine up. It's still very much a work in progress, but I'm happy where it is. And yeah, I'm gonna end the video and start working.